We're going to be teaching something I teach a lot at practices and events. It's called Drills 101. If you're from Ashlands, you've been doing these for a while. So we're going to go over a couple basic drills. I'm going to explain why we do drills, all right? So a lot of people improve by fighting a lot, okay? So a lot of people feel like they don't need to do drills because they're at practices with like 160 people sometimes, okay? This is for people who, like me, don't have a lot of fighters around them. I have maybe 1 or 2 fighters, and a lot of times I have to get them up to my level very fast to get a lot more out of it, okay? Not saying you can't get anything about it out of new fighters or fighting new fighters, but it's a lot more beneficial for you to have someone up there on that level with you, all right? Don't go into these drills thinking that you're gonna immediately like, oh, I took Boomii's drill class and I'm fucking doing better. No, it's like a grain of sand. If you want to improve using drills, you need to do them regularly and consistently. All right, we're going to talk about that too, is setting up a drill list and setting up a like workout routine out of these. All right, so first things first, who here has heard of block strike?
Yeah.
All right, great. If you have not, don't feel bad. There's always a great starting point for block strike. Every day is a great day to do block strike. All right, so first things first, Nate.
What's up?
Come on over here.
What's up, man?
All right, go ahead and drop this in the blue. So block strike is a very stationary game. So what we're doing, we're gonna reach out. First things first, I'm ahead of myself. I don't have a notebook, I apologize. Imagine I have 4 quadrants in my torso. I have a line going down and a line starting here about my belly, all right? Those are 4 quadrants. Let me see your screen. All right, so we're gonna talk a lot about quadrants today. This is what I'm referring to. You have upper torso quadrants, lower torso quadrants. So when we block strike, starting out, we are going to pick 2 quadrants that are opposing to each other. So I would pick this hip and that chest. They don't have to be necessarily on the same like high or low, but you want to pick the opposite ends, all right? So Vane, pick 2. All right, so common misconception that a lot of people do is doing block strike is back in the day they taught you measure your sword foot forward distance with your sword.
It really sucks if you're short.
Yeah, exactly. If you were smaller or shorter, if I do that and I try to fight Vane, who has like these lanky arms and I got little T-Rex arms, I'm gonna be here to get that shit, right? If we do it right, so say my furthest quadrant I pick is gonna be here, I'm gonna get to where I can touch that. Vane's gonna do the same thing. That way when we do block strike, I'm not like doing bad form, I'm not getting out of my like stance to throw a shot, I'm not having to step forward. The point of this drill is to throw shots and block and start learning how to like throw your combos, aim for shit with good form. All right, so when you do this, remind yourself, I'm trying to have good form. My back is straight, shoulders aren't like hunched over too bad.
No booty out, none of that.
My chest is out. I'm not like stepping back and forth with it, all right? We're gonna do more stepping stuff. This is gonna be the most stationary drill we do today, all right? So start it out, pick a partner. Oh, we're gonna explain the drill. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like, okay? So first things first, someone's gonna be a left-handed fighter, someone's gonna be a right-handed fighter. If you already have a lefty, great. All right, so Vane and I are gonna pick our quadrants. One person's gonna throw a shot first, the other's gonna block, the other's gonna attack.
When you say pick your quadrants, you have to only hit those quadrants, right? You can't just leg sweep?
Yes. So I can alternate between those two. Like if I have this hip and this shoulder, all right, I'm gonna throw for this hip, block, and try to throw for that shoulder. You wanna keep alternating. Don't be afraid to try new things.
And again, how many quadrants are we picking?
4 quadrants. All right. After you do that, for about...
I know, so there are 4 quadrants. She asked, how many are we picking?
Oh, you are picking 2 quadrants out of the 4. You want to pick 2 opposing quadrants. So if I have 2 quadrants here, 2 quadrants here, you want to alternate. You can do different stuff, but just starting out, we're going to tell you, if you're going to go for like sword side, try to throw for your second shot towards board side. All right. After we do about 30 seconds of that, we're going to swap hands. Vane's going to be left-handed. Bring that foot forward. Another addendum, starting out, I'm going to have you guys start with your sword foot forward, just because you want that good technique going. But after a bit, to play with play with block strike, you don't want to keep doing the same thing. Everybody gets bored with that. A lot of people you'll hear talk about block strike like, man, I just can't do it. It's because they're doing the same thing for an hour. All right. You want to swap it up. That way you get like training in different variables. Like Vane, I'll do left on right, hand matching, and then we'll do left on left. And then we'll swap it up, right on right, to where it's comfortable. And then sometimes, I know a lot of the road dudes back in the day, they do on one leg. You have one leg, this foot forward.
Because we're practicing good technique.
Mhm.
And this is how you do.
Good technique, guys. Peak performance.
If you do it on one leg,
Peak
you're like,
performance.
you have to do it. You may not like it, but this
Yeah,
is
that's
what
how you
peak
kill somebody.
performance looks like. Center of gravity. one-legged.
performance.
Or really big
This is
hips.
just like
So-
a sack race hopping. You gotta like look like
My hips don't lie.
Another good thing to
Got a
remember when
period on
doing
that.
this, especially with newer people or if you yourself are starting getting used to it, it's a little awkward. Like, I notice a lot of new people when they do it, they'll throw a shot and they just kind of like wait for the guy to like return, and it gets awkward. Keep a cadence going. If it happens, go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then pick it up. You don't have to start like a lot of the vets you see going bah, 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 bah. You want to like just go slow until you get used to it. Okay?
Take note of when you get hit, but don't stop because you got hit.
Thank you.
That's important.
So what that means is if we're doing this drill and Vane hits my arm, I just say arm and we keep going. Body.
Whoa,
Disarm.
what was that?
Disarm.
That's called victory.
So I think,
Victory.
so like the thing is too is I'll say, like I was primarily an amp guarder for like 10 years. It's like the one advantage of amp guard that a lot of people cross game into is how fast we fight. And like we've kind of learned as films developed over like 25 years now that the speed at which you fight is how fast your brain processes combat. So that's like an amp guard advantage is that we can process movement a lot faster just because that level we play at, you don't know what you've never seen type of thing. So like if you do block strike drills with your buddy and you start to go fast and it gets messy is okay. A lot of times we'll like revert back, so we'll be like, oh no, that got messy. But like messy is gonna like, it's gonna be messy. But the more that you do messy, quick, fast, the faster you're gonna get at reading what's going on and cleaning up that mess. Whereas if you only ever stay in your box of comfort, you're never gonna progress in that. And I think that's like block strike's really good for, but it's a very overlooked thing. A lot of people think it's just for the muscle memory of a mechanical shot, but it's also to help you increase how fast you register what is going on in combat around you. That's it. I just slid in.
No, you good. Yeah, exactly. So another thing I like about block strike that it taught me was understanding how to come back for shots. All right. So a lot of things we teach people one-on-one is understanding like if I'm throwing a shot, where should I come back, right? What path of travel should I use? A lot of times you use your elbow, right? So if I know I'm out here and I overextend, just bring my elbow back. And that's a lot of stuff block strike will teach you is like coming back to guard from like not super great positions, all right? Did you have something?
Oh no.
Okay.
Let's go.
Go ahead and split up. If you need a weapon, go grab a single blue. We're gonna pair off. I'm gonna have you guys try out block strike for about 30 seconds, okay?
That was like that.
What did you guys think about that one?
That was fun.
You guys see the pros of that one?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're gonna start doing some that move off of that, all right? So the next two drills we're gonna do are called block, attack, block, and attack, block, attack. You have the same concept, Vane, come over here. And now you have a stander and a mover, all right? So the name of the drill refers to what the mover is about to do. So if I'm the mover and we were doing attack, block, attack, I'm going to lunge in, throw a shot, he's gonna return and I'm gonna throw another, okay? So what this does, it kind of shows you how to aggress in a more defensive manner rather than just like lunging and throwing one shot and hoping. You want to be more planned, all right? If you're going to aggress, have a plan. That's number one rule, all right? So again, I'm the mover, Vane is a stander. I'm going to move in and throw a shot on Vane. He's going to return. I'm going to throw another before stepping out. Yep. So when you go in, don't always just go straight forward, right? I know I just did it now, but try to like play those angles. So if I'm gonna go on Vane, I want it to so here, block that shot and throw another. Same thing with block strike. If they hit you, make sure they know, but keep going. You wanna understand the movements. Most important thing with this drill I want you guys to keep in mind is again, technique and form and movement. Don't like focus on getting the kill shots. It's okay, just focus on not getting hit. What's the number one point of this game? What's the number one one of the number one benefits that you will get in this game, or something that will benefit you from understanding is that the game isn't hitting them first. It's not getting hit. All right?
If you both get hit, you both lost.
Correct.
They don't give out warlords to losers. Anyways.
So again, what that looks like, Vane's gonna come at me. He's gonna throw a shot. All right, and then we're gonna swap. So as soon as someone moves and throws their shot and it's over, we swap positions. Now I move on Vane. Now he comes at me. Good. All right.
Question: do y'all reset when you switch?
We reset to where we're at a couple feet back from each other to where he has time to lunge.
Okay.
All right.
Question. Are we fainting and stuff?
You can faint.
Okay.
So
And does that
you can
count?
faint. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Change it up. Try different combos. Faint with it.
Hey.
You just still want that cadence. And if it helps, I've realized teaching newer people, I should have seen this earlier, with newer people learning this, it helps to like get a cadence going too. Like in block strike, how we did 1, 2, you move, you got 1, 2, 3. It helps say that out loud sometimes too.
It does.
That way you're not going 1, 2, oh wait, what do I do next? All right.
I got confused as hell.
Does the feint count as the attack?
It does not.
For the thing.
All
So
until you swing.
if Vane wants to come in and throw like here to here, then it would start. All right.
But you want to keep that cadence. So like I was thinking, the cadence breaking. So I'm gonna be the mover. We're gonna do attack, block, attack.
Mhm.
So attack, block.
Good.
Boom.
Because
Bada
that
bing.
breaks
Easy.
cadence.
Yep.
Okay.
That's perfect.
That's fine.
All right, guys. So we're gonna split up and
I
do
wanna
this
do this.
again. This is attack, block,
I love
attack.
this one.
So
I
pair
love this
up.
my
Pair with
favorite
someone
Because
new
that's
this
how you
time.
trick people with that.
Try to do single
They're
blue
gonna
for
go
this
bap,
one.
bap. No.
If anybody needs a partner, I will gladly help out. Okay? Now we're gonna do block, attack, block.
Okay.
All right, guys. What did you guys think about that one?
Doing stuff off is more fun.
Kind of see how it makes you like aggress with like more planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want you to get some better.
So when you guys try that at home, try it with different combos. Like I like to try different things. Like when I come in, I'll throw here, here, and then try to like land on the opposite hip. But other times, like I just try to throw something wild. Like I'll go. So change it up. Don't keep throwing the same thing. You also want to like change it up on the person you're drilling with, so they get more benefit out of it too. Play those angles. All right. So the next we're gonna do is a little different. It's called BAB, block, attack, block. So what that means, I'm the mover, Vane's the stander.
Stunned.
As soon as I walk into the stander's range, he's going to attack. All right, this time the mover is not lunging, you are walking it. All right, so again, Vane's the stander, I'm the mover. I'm gonna walk at him. All right.
Only when he's in range, I strike.
Yep. So I can walk around him. Sometimes I'll fuck with people too to get that going. And then as soon as I get in the range. All right. Anybody have any questions about that one? It's pretty simple. All right, split up with someone new this time. All right, guys. Hey, new guy.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Most people don't.
I get confused now. I can't fight. Boomii, I can't fight righties. I get confused. Lefties I fight all the time, so I'm like, I know exactly what to do. But everybody else, I'm like,
I leave like my own field and there's righties.
yeah. You're just like,
Hey, Vane.
Come on, you two.
Oh, sorry.
You good?
Before he flirt.
All right, guys. So everybody kind of get the gist of that one. Any questions on that? All right, great. Hope you guys had a good time. So we're gonna go over in the next one. This one is called counter walk. All right, this one's a little bit of a breakaway from like the monotony of those, I guess, like the 1, 2, 3, the same cadence. So this one, instead of like throwing it like 1, 2, 3, now you have a stander and a walker again, much like BAB, except this time Vane is going to throw a shot with a walk, so throw a shot, and I have to counter. But Vane can change that up to throw a fake. I have to determine, so you want to come into my range. So I'm standing still. I cannot move back. Well, I can take a step forward or back or side to side, but I can only take one step, okay? So when Vane's coming in at me, Vane is either going to throw a fake to a shot or just a straight shot at me. And the point of this for me to determine and practice determining what is a like just a straight shot, stab, whatever coming in, or what's going to be a fake or a feint. So Bane's gonna come at me. He's gonna throw a shot. I'll throw a shot. Now I come at Bane. All right, you come at me.
That was the ball.
Now we're gonna learn how to actually fight.
Smoke them back.
The point of this drill is to get to where like you can determine
Now it's about to become
what's a fake or what's just like a straight shot coming in at you, okay? So again, if you are the stander,
Pretty well. You got a healer? I love dogs. It's fine.
Absolutely.
so if you are the stander, you can take one step as long as it's beneficial. Try to like, if you're moving at someone and throwing a shot, try to come into them at different angles. Don't always like Cecil. If I'm gonna come in at Cecil, I don't want to keep coming in straight. All right, that's not gonna train much. I want to try to come in like, right? So again, this drill isn't like 1, 2, 3 or anything. It's one shot.
Maybe we should have a
Don't hit against the wood. Okay, but don't hit someone else's sword against the wood. It's not meant to hit wood. Yeah, it's called.
Round on up. I'm gonna go over the last little bit of my class. Alright guys, so this is the last little bit of my class. We're going to cover footwork. Alright, so this is more stuff that you can do by yourself. I try to cover stuff that you can do with like maybe 1 or 2 people at home. This one is stuff strictly for like, I've been doing this at home for a long time. I didn't have a lot of people to work with, so this is how I did it. Alright, so a lot of these come from like football, Filipino stick fighting, stuff where like people have like gear in their hands and have to move their feet. All right, so the first little footwork drill we're gonna do, I call it in and out. All right, you have these cones down the line. I do it with an agility ladder at home, but if you have cones, I used to do it with like swords. I would set swords down on the ground and step in between them.
So you need 5 swords, 6 swords.
Yeah,
Got it.
6 to 8, just depending on how comfortable you are with it. So basically this drill, you are going to step in a space straight forward. You're going to step out diagonally at a 45 degrees. So that means here. All right, without gear. So we're going to cover one without gear and one with gear. All right. So with gear, that'll look like in or without. Without gear, it'll look like in, back, in, back, in, back, in, back, in. All right.
So is your goal to make it? Sorry. So since we're going between the colds on the back, it is to get like back all the way to the middle because the step forward is just forward.
Yes, these are just super wide.
Okay.
So that kind of, let me scooch that in. The idea is to start retreating a little bit laterally. The idea behind that, Cyril, we grab the sword?
Yeah.
If I am stepping in on Cecil and I step out directly linearly, how many shots do you think that would open up?
Many.
My guard is open, my hips are out. If Cecil follows me in, that's my hips for days. However, if I do the same thing, my guard is here, my form is straight, and I can still return and recover. All right? So fast, you want to kick it up with your feet a little bit more, get moving. You can kind of make it into like kind of a bounce, all right? So, and you just come on over. If you start with your sword foot forward, say I start with my left foot, I'm moving right. If I start with my right foot, I'm going left down the line. So again, if you guys want to see from the back side. With gear, you add a little bit more to it. So with your sword, when you step in, you throw a shot. When you step out, defend. Shot, defend. Attack, defend.
This would be good to do with a buddy.
All right, and you swap hands, just keep it going down the line. I like to do, you don't necessarily have to do one motion with your sword. I do a lot of figure eights just because it feels natural while I'm moving. I can still attack, come in defensively. Just do that for a while, get used to it. I'm not gonna have y'all try it unless you want to after this class. Your next one is a little more freeform. See how we got this square cones over here? Sometimes I like to take cones to mark off like where I'm gonna be stepping. But this one you can do like if you have a backyard, a driveway. This is stuff you can do to work your movement and your footwork a little more. So, starting that off, we're gonna go over the 2-6-8 drill. This is one from Warlord Glenn. It is more of a fencing footwork drill, but it applies very well to this. So if I'm gonna start at this line, all right, so key point of footwork. What should I not be doing when I'm fighting, right? Exactly. Where should my center of gravity be?
About your hips.
All right, about my hips, between my feet. Like, imagine there's a rod going through the tip of my skull, down between my legs. That's where I want my gravity, right? Whenever I move, I don't want my feet coming super far close together, right? So again, like when I'm moving and fighting, I don't want my feet like here. I don't want them here. I definitely don't want them here, all right? So this is a drill to work your movement and work on checking yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. So the 2-6-8 drill, I'm gonna start in my guard with my sword, and I'm gonna take 2 steps. All right. 1, 2. When you get done with that, you take a look at your feet. See where they are, see where your center of gravity is. How close did your back foot come? If I'm coming up here, it's not great. All right. After you do 2, you do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, stop, take a look at your feet. I noticed a lot on that. I was coming back to my back foot a lot. But when I stop, it's perfect. And then you do 8. So 8 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody got a gist of that? Any questions?
I have a thing to add that might be kind of useful, right? Because like you've got to step forward and you've got to step back. So, and especially if you're doing drills in somewhere where you're limited on space, something I like to do is just go back and forth.
Just practice any stance. I dig that. Bash.
I wanted to add something on it as well. The cheat code for footwork that can give you guys, and the best thing whenever you're training, and this applies to fighting too, but when you're training, a lot of us have probably seen over time, or like when people throw shots like this, right? And we know this is like bad, right? The lean. Or like we get too far over our board and we get sniped here type stuff. The cheat code to that when you're training is activating your abs. So if anybody doesn't know what that means, like the best way I can explain it is like when you stance, and we could even do it right now, like just flex your abs. And the whole time that you're moving your feet, keep your abs flexed everywhere you're going. And even if you throw low, even if you level change and go deep, like this stance right here, as long as my abs are flexed, I look super wide, but I can still push off in any direction versus this. Because this throws your center of gravity out, and at this point, like you either won or you lost. Versus activated abs, and here, if you respond, I can still pull. And that's all just because like flexing the abs. So anytime you're doing the foot, just flex, and you can literally always make sure that you're keeping your stance. That's like the cheat code to footwork stancing.
And when you were doing this, a point that I realized earlier talking with Mallory, when you were doing these drills, same thing with like working out, exercising, you want to do it with intensity. All right, you don't want to do these drills just like, oh man, Boomii's making me do these drills. I don't want to do them. I'm just going to go through the motions. You're not going to learn a lot doing that. Like you're going to do it, but like, and that matters, but you're not going to be learning it. You want to do this with intent. So when I do these drills, I want to actively think about, okay, what am I not getting? What am I doing right? And think about like your form, your basics, your feet, your spacing. All that stuff is important when you do this, because when you fight, you're not going to have to think about it as much. You're going to go, oh shit, I did this like 3 days in a row for a year. I'm here. I got it. All right. So this last drill for footwork is a lot simpler. The same thing was keeping your spacing, but you were practicing keeping your spacing, moving forward, and doing a stance switch. All right, so I call this one the box footwork, or the box drill. You just pick a straight line. Usually I'll set cones, but you don't have to all the way, all the time. It'll be too much to do that right now. So you go, start with your sword foot forward, keep your sword in your hand, and you want to go forward, your stance switch to the right, and forward with this foot. Everybody kind of get that? So when you stance switch or you move laterally, you're moving this foot forward and this back and keeping your guard up. You want your guard up at all times when you do this. I'm going to go forward again. Stance switch, forward again. Stance switch, forward again. All right. We're going to cover one last drill today. Can I get 2 volunteers? Awesome. You guys have gear? This is a team fighting drill, all right? This is a 2v1 situation. So a lot of times when you're training 2v1, a lot of people consider training just the one person. And I get that, like winning a 2v1 feels fucking great. But losing a 2v1 feels even worse because you had 2 people. So this drill is to train the 2 rather than the 1. You still get a lot out of it, but this is going to train them to defend themselves a little more. So the point of this drill, they're going to be fighting together. I'm going to be the 1. They automatically lose if I take any of their limbs. So if they kill me, they still win. But if any of them lose an arm, a leg, whatever, it's over. And you start back up, all right? Let's do that a couple times. Copy that. All right, you guys gotta get that one?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. That can be done with any kit. If you guys want to swap it out and make it harder, add some reds into that mix. All right. We didn't have a ton of reds here today, but all of these drills you can convert to red sword fighting and spear fighting. All right. So I don't have a red, but let's pretend. So block strike. Block strike with reds is even more valuable. So we pick where we can get. It's a little fucked up right now, but same thing. We pick quadrants and talon strike first. All right. Same thing with BAB. If we do BAB, we can do it with red swords. Talon will come at me, ABA. You can get a lot out of that, all right? Don't be afraid to like keep it to the same thing. Mix it up. If you want to get better with one kit, mix it up. Happy will do this with you. All right. Any more questions, guys? Awesome. Drills are an amazing gift to foam fighting. A lot of people don't do them. A lot of people suffer that. I'm not saying everybody needs to drill. A lot of people can get like a lot of this stuff from just fighting. But for people that can't get that, or people who aren't able to fight as often, this is a great way to expedite the process. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming. I'm Squire Boomii. Merry Whackmas.
Thank you.
Merry Whackmas.